going. Okay, so essentially you got this render function here, and what I use it for, this is not a gospel of any kind. This is not how everybody does it. What I've done is I've set this up so that it will be easy to access stuff. Everything I do is kind of like rigged to let us get to everything. Some people write these render functions all over the place. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. You look at a program, you can't even find them sometimes. Sometimes they really hide them. But mine are always in the same space. They're always in the head, and they're always in the JavaScript zone of the head, because they are just functions. That's all they are. It's just a function. And then down here, you get the first line. This is the most important one here. Request animation. I'm just going to rough out this because of frame. This and its render here. Okay, what happens is this has to be the same name as that right there. You don't want to put the parentheses. It's just you don't put these things. Okay, just put the name render, and this is capitalized here. So what happens is when the program comes down and bumps into this thing, it says when this render is finished, when you've done everything, go back up and start again. So what it does is it draws all the images and all the stuff you want in this particular frame, then it goes back up again. So if you had something like this, like that right there, what it would do is it would draw the thing with +1 to it, and then it would come back, and then it would add another +1, it would be 2, it would draw it in a new position. Then another +1 would be added, and it would be 3. So in other words, the object then would start to rotate around the y-axis. So it would start to rotate like this. So basically what this does is it just tells you to keep rendering, okay? And then down below the thing, right in here, there's a bunch of things that control the camera. And we talked about those before. They're pretty easy to see what they do. They're written out in plain English. One says camera position X, camera position Z, render clear color, and I said change background color right next to it. And camera look at scene dot position. That means the camera's always looking towards the middle, unless you tell it otherwise. That's one of the good things about this render function is it has these things in it that are very handy. So for example, if you have a world and you move the camera over to here, instead of the camera looking like that and going away from the world, it flips back and keeps looking at, so it keeps looking at the world. It keeps its attention on the world. If you don't want to do that, you just shut that off. You just tell the camera to look at the world. You just say but you know that, by the way, I hope at this point. In a program, if you go like this, that's it. That line disappears. It's there, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, that makes it into a comment. They call it a comment statement. There's two ways of doing that, by the way. I can even tell you this now. At this late date, I should tell you this. Suppose we have a bunch of code like these in the function right here, and you want to shut off that whole bunch of code. Well, one choice is to go like this, da 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 da. Very well. You could do it that way. Another way to do it, which is really cool, is you say /star, and down here you say */. Everything between those two things will disappear. It won't be shown. It won't run. You'll see them still, but they won't run, which is kind of good. In the case when you're debugging your program, sometimes you debug a program, it's nice to shut some things off, and sometimes it's good to shut whole sections of the program off to see if that's interfering with it. I do that sometimes. I'll shut the whole section off, and then if the program seems to run right, then what I'll do is I'll start killing one of these at a time, bringing one of these back at a time, and see which one finally comes back and destroys the program. See, one of these lines, if you go from here to here, the program works. It didn't work before. Then what you can say is, well, one of these lines right here must be doing the job. So you let this one loose and you say, does it still work? No, yes. Does it still work? Yes. Does it still work? Nope. Then you know that right there is the trouble spot. Because what you're doing is you're letting the things work that work, and when it finally hits the one that doesn't work, it's over. Okay? Debugging, a lot of people have gone to, when you go over the lab, they show you a different strategy, which is fine. I don't mind. They do it a different way. But my idea of debugging is to track the bug by trying to eliminate the things that cause it to be a bug, and then you say that's the thing that did it. You track it down, sort of. That would be it. That would be. Do you have any questions that you came with that you want to talk about it at all?
Is there going to be another class Tuesday?
What?
Is there going to be a video class Tuesday?
Do we have a class Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No,
It's
next
online.
Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Oh, no.
No, we
No.
don't, okay.
No.
So today's our
I think
last
Monday's the last day, isn't it? Monday's the last day of classes.
Monday, there isn't any classes.
No, yeah,
It's kind of a dead day.
it ends this week,
Ends what day?
this week.
This week.
So, yeah,
Oh, there's not
Friday
even a
or
Monday class?
Saturday, I guess it's
Yeah,
Saturday.
sometimes they have a Monday class. I didn't know if they did this year. But
So
yeah,
they
this
have
is it.
Tuesday classes.
This is the last class.
Okay.
Next one is exam. I'm scared already.
You're scared?
I'm scared.
You wrote the
This exam is actually a good exam. It's straightforward, it's easy, there's no problems with it, you won't have trouble with it.
No trick problems?
Huh?
No trick problems?
There's 50 problems, of 49. But they're true or false, fill in the blanks, they're actually pretty easy to do. But you might bring your computer with you, because some of the stuff you might, you look at it and say, is that the right one? And you might want to look at a program or something.
How long is the class that day?
It's 2 hours, but
2 hours?
it won't take you 2 hours. If it takes you 2 hours, I'd be very surprised. Most people will be out of here in an hour at least.
Okay.
Some people might get up in 15 minutes and zip. Because you could, if you knew everything, you could just write it right down. Just
Right.
answer the questions.
That won't be me.
But that's a little dangerous anyway, because sometimes you get cocky. I've had people do that, it makes me nervous when they start. And they'll give it to me, and I'll look at it and I'll go, oh my God.
Alrighty, well,
Give it a second run. But I'll be here for a while if you need anything. I'm not going to go anyplace. But the class is over, and I hope you had. Don't forget, there's an online thing if you want to comment anyway about, not about me. That's evaluation, but if you want to comment about the style of the class, if there's something you did or didn't like about it, or anything about the class itself, I'd like to hear what you feel about it. That's it.